Joel Embiid shows a nasty side. Payne gave him a spark off the bench. Kelly Oubre, my man, dominated on both sides of the ball to me. We'll talk about that and more next on Locked On 76ers.
You are Locked On 76ers, your daily Philadelphia 76ers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On 76ers. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Well, Mitch, we got a lot to talk about. The Sixers came back last night and not evened up the series. They pulled within one game. So now the Knicks lead 2-1. But I tell you, man, that was an eventful game. I mean, Joel Embiid scored 50 points. It was a career playoff high for him. They got, more contribution for other people offensively. I mean, Kelly Oubre played well. Payne came off the bench and scored some solid 11 points. Really needed it. Today, what I want to talk about first off is Joel. Like, Joel was fronting and acting all, saying all the nice things after the fact. But Joel came out like, I'm not going to be punked. We ain't going to be punked. We're going to let y'all know how dominant we are, and y'all going to feel us the whole game. Yep. And it just seemed like when it was early in the game. Well, first of all, Kyle Lowry set the tempo when he smacked my man on the side of his head, Dante DiVincenzo, who's supposed to be his boy, right? Now, again, was he going for the ball? Who knows? But he smacked him, right? So then next thing you know, a couple possessions later, Joel Embiid gives Hartenstein a knee to the family jewels, right? Not right. So he did that. Then all of a sudden, Joel's laying on the ground. He falls to the ground. My man, what's the boy? Miles. Robinson. Mitchell Robinson is about to take a layup, and Joel grabs his legs and pulls him down. So they got to be separated. But now here's something else that all of a sudden Mitchell Robinson leaves the game later with a sprained ankle, but that happened after Joel fell on him, right? Leaned on him. So
go ahead, Gee. Go ahead.
No, all I want to say is Joel was ultra aggressive. He said all the right things.
He did all the right things.
But he was setting the tempo, wasn't he?
He was setting the tempo, man. I mean, listen, man. Here's a guy who, and I've been guilty of this myself, we're critical of his play and the most intense moments at the precipice. We are most critical of his game. I'm glad. First of all, I'm glad Mitchell Robinson didn't get hurt on that play. You never want to see a series decided, even though he's not a deciding factor, but he's probably the best offensive rebounder in the league. And now he's a little bit addled. But I do like the fact that he was aggressive. He played angry, man. He and Dante DiVincenzo went face to face, or forehead to nose, however it was. And what do we say out of Joel? Sometimes he plays like a kitty cat when the playoffs get here. Well, okay, the kitty cat hobbled out there with one leg and gave you 50. First player in NBA history, if I'm not mistaken, to score 50 points in a playoff game, taking fewer than 20 shots. So he showed his nasty side, and the nasty side is required, and let's be quite honest, on that play when he grabbed Mitchell Robinson's leg, it was a bit excessive. I don't understand the whole flagrancy about it, but prior to that, Obi-Wan Kenobi put his shoulder into him and tried to bowl him over, man. And yeah, I know what his name is, but he's Obi-Wan Kenobi for the rest of the season.
That's why I'm laughing. Like,
So yeah, Joel was nasty, and it's warranted. I mean, it's a tough series. It's New York versus Philly. You know, um,
yeah.
it's not a nail polish. It shouldn't be a nail polish series. It's two teams, two manly teams going at each other aggressively, and I liked what I saw from Joel, and shout out to Kyle. I mean, that's his boy, but who fights more than boys and family?
Yeah, but you said it was a aggressive. It was a man, man thing. Yo, this thing was crazy, dude. At one point, I looked around, and you know how it's always the New York Knicks take over at the Wells Fargo Center.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'm saying to myself, like, this is a playoff game. It ain't gonna be a takeover. I know these people aren't selling these Knicks fans these
There's
tickets.
a lot of them in there.
Yo, it was like 30% Knicks fan. I'm getting texts from shout out to my man Dan. So my man Dan is coach at Paul VI, great dude, like him. He was at the game with his brother-in-law, and he's texting me and he's saying, Keith, man, it's all these New York Knicks fans. Now I gotta blame him too because his brother-in-law lives in New York and he's a Knicks fan too. So they were all there, dude. Yo, let me tell you this, Mitch. At one particular point in the second quarter, they were chanting, "Let's go Knicks."
I
It
heard you
was
can hear it on
loud.
television. Yeah, you can hear it on television.
Man, I was like, whoa, it was crazy. It was like, wow. I mean, and they were walking around loud and proud. It was a couple of Knicks fans that got ejected. One dude was crazy. He's walking around, and they was all of a sudden you saw the head of security in front of him.
Bye.
But it was crazy, man. It was like, God, it's crazy. Yo, it was like, but like I'm telling, but see, I think he got kicked out. Like he was a little like, I mean, when they was winning, everything was cool. But then when the Sixers start like getting in that tail, I guess he said the wrong thing to the wrong someone. But it was crazy, man. It was, I mean, talking about they were standing up, they were doing everything. It was a great atmosphere, right?
It's a great atmosphere.
It was a great atmosphere, exactly. But it did remind me of an NCAA tournament neutral site atmosphere. If I'm gonna be real, it was the New York Knicks takeover. Something the Sixers got ahead.
But at the end of the day, the loudest chant should have been "No New York, no New York, no."
Should have been, but maybe people will listen to this will do it if they win game 2.
Yeah. That's what. But listen, right now, I want to talk about Nissan and all the wonderful things Nissan has. Are you the kind of driver that likes to push things a little further? Ever wonder what adventure could be around the next corner? Our friends at Nissan have a lineup of SUVs with the capabilities to take your adventure to the next level. For instance, there's the 2024 Nissan Pathfinder. The Pathfinder has room up to 8, an expansive cargo capacity, and advanced available 4x4 capability. With 284 horses and up to 6,000 pounds towing, when adventure calls, the Pathfinder is there to answer. Well, what about the 2024 Nissan Armada? The Armada will change what you expect from a full-size SUV. Picture a rugged 4x4 that can seat up to 8 in first-class luxury and style. Tow bigger and explore further in the 2024 Nissan Armada. Take the Pathfinder, the Armada, and go find your next big adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. This next segment is brought to us by our sponsor, BetterHelp. Sometimes we all need the opportunity to get something off our chest. Big or small, certain things can really start to get to you. It's important to let that out, especially to someone who's unbiased on your life. So today, I want to tell you how I really feel about something. You might be thinking the same thing as we. I'm not going to be able to make it to Penn Relays, so I'm a little bit depressed about that.
Man,
but in reality, I was just thinking it's going to be hard. I got a wedding, so it's going to be a little bit difficult. But we've all got bigger things in our lives to worry about than sports. We have bigger issues that come into our lives, people passing out of our lives, separations, financial things that are really substantive for people. Well, therapy can be different for everyone. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be flexible and suited to your schedule. Visit betterhelp.com/lockedonnba to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedonnba. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day? Have to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every single solitary day.
So you know what, Mitch, the guy who really, I got to give Nick Nurse some credit, and I feel sorry for Buddy Hield. So Buddy Hield came out there in that first quarter and did what Buddy Hield did.
Unfortunately,
Man, he was horrible.
Yeah.
Again. So 3 minutes after 3 minutes and 50 something seconds after scoring and not failing to score again, missing both of his shots at the start of the first quarter was Cam Payne. Cam Payne comes out, has an assist. Then he comes out with a 3-3-2 block.
Yeah.
Crowd goes cray. Next thing you know, there's no more Buddy. Cam gets the rest of his minutes and he plays well. He was a huge spark off the bench. And to me, it's like, yo, coach, he told him, you're going to have to pay me from now on. No offense to Buddy, but I need those minutes. And I think he played extremely well.
Well, you're absolutely right, Keith. I mean, and he gave Buddy a quick hook. 3-4 minutes, okay.
It's 3:57 to be exact. Yeah.
Like that's enough out of you. And shout out to Cam Payne who stepped right in and went 4 for 7. And made 3 or 4, three or four 3-pointers, man, in that beautiful third quarter that they played. So, shout out to Coach Nick Nurse for being decisive. It's the playoffs, man. You don't have any wiggle room. You're down 2-0. You got a bunch of people from Brooklyn and Bronx coming into your arena trying to take it over. Letting off their frustrations because it's NFL draft night. And once again, there are 2 franchises up there will stink it up. So, I shout out to Cam Payne for coming in and feeling himself and finding a rhythm and almost playing like he had been playing significant minutes in the first 2 games of the series.
Yeah, he did. I mean, that's what veteran leadership is like. I mean, being a veteran, I'm not going to say a leader, but being a veteran and knowing your role and knowing how to adapt, because it's hard to come off the bench when you're not doing anything and like, yo, what about me?
Yeah.
He came out there and he took advantage of the opportunity. He did what he had to do. He played extremely well, and he was a major part of the reason that they were able to get that victory. Right? Yeah. There's no doubt about that. He was a major part of the reason that they were able to get that victory. So, I felt like, that it was a good win for them, and a good showing by Cam Payne. The thing is, the one thing that he said that really stood out to me was, he was just talking about how he learned a lot of stuff from when he was in Phoenix with Chris Paul, right? And all that. But yeah. He said for all the young people out there, it's definitely hard. He says of playing with an energetic mindset when you're not, playing, right? And he said, but that's just how the NBA is. You
Yeah.
got to stay ready. Your opportunity can be called at any point of time. Like myself, I was just called today and I stepped up to the plate and I was ready to play. Sometimes you just got to stay ready on your own because you may never know when it happens. So
Yeah.
just stay locked in. I was I was locked in, and thank God my shots fell today so I can get that opportunity again. He knows the deal. He knows the deal. He knows
Yeah.
the deal. You got to keep playing that way.
He does. And he came in ready. He came in
Hmm.
very ready. But listen, when you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for that role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find somewhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. So post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnba. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnba to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Do it today, people. Definitely do it today. Now, Mitch, let's talk about Kelly Oubre. Now, Kelly Oubre started off a bad night. I was like, "Yo, man, who did you upset with TMZ?" Right before the media
Uh,
availability, TMZ comes out with a thing of how he totaled his purple Lamborghini,
yeah.
his toy, at 1:45 in the morning in Philly. So I'm saying to myself, like, hmm,
You proud, huh?
1:45. Like I'm like, yo, like, were you even back in Philly at that time? Like it happened after game 2. But you know what? He comes out. He has a heck of a two-way game. Like he had a
Mhm.
heck of a two-way game. He played defense, but he needed more offense, and he
Yeah.
showed that offense. He played well, and he had 15 points on 6 for 8 shooting, along with 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals in exactly 38 minutes. Brother man was balling.
Yeah, he played a very good game, and I mean, people will look at Jalen Brunson and say, yeah, Brunson did go for 39. Um, but I mean, Jalen Brunson, he showed up and played, but it wasn't easy for him. Particularly the defensive end. He was 13 for 27 from the field, connected on 3 of 7 3-pointers, and in most of those cases, Kelly Oubre was playing and was in his face, making him work for those shots. And quite honestly, if you take Brunson's eruption out of the game, then the Sixers get the Sixers probably blow them out. And like I said, Kelly Oubre showed up. His offense was there. Um, and he gave him 15 points. He looked 15 points. He looked more like the Kelly Oubre we've become accustomed to seeing during those last 20, 25 games of the regular season. And it's valuable that he shows up because some of their guys, I'm not a Knicks fan, but I look at Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo and say, man, what a gift the 76ers, the Philadelphia area gave them. But Kelly Oubre's balling. He stepped it up. If Buddy Hield's not going to be there, if Buddy Hield's mind is already on an island somewhere, then hey, somebody's got to step it up, and Kelly Oubre can be that guy.
Yeah, Kelly Oubre was that guy. I give it that. I mean, he played well. They all played well. It was a
It
good
did.
good one. But the one thing, Mitch, they got to be careful of, because I think they're going to come. They're going to come for the Sixers next game. Now, the key is Mitchell Robinson did leave the game with a sprained ankle. He left the arena in a walking boot.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can't really go by that, and the reason why I say that is because a lot of
He left in a
times,
walking boot.
well, that's what I heard. He had a boot on. Yep.
Uh,
But sometimes you got to be careful with that because when it happens, I know for a fact whenever I was covering Temple, um, you would see a guy with that on, you're like, oh my God, what's wrong? And they're like, nah, they just doing this for precautionary. Tomorrow we'll see. And I'm like, come on, man, you lying to me, man. And then next thing you know, tomorrow the dude was good. So with that being said, I'm just saying, like, I don't want to jump the gun now. Again, we'll see it, but he did end up leaving the game with an ankle, so it could be. I mean, yeah, typically nowadays they tape that bad boy up, right, and then you come back to play. So it could be something serious. But I do feel like if he can't go, the Knicks could be in trouble for Game 4. Definitely in trouble for Game 4. Luckily for for them, they get 2 days off. They're off. They don't play until Sunday, so that should be to give you more time to heal. But I think that also helped Joel get them 50, not having those dudes there. But look, we want to thank y'all for listening, right? We want y'all to know that this podcast is free and available. You can get it wherever you get your podcast at. Mitchell is happy that the Sixers won. Me, I'm just happy that I got to cover a good game. It was a crazy game.
It
was just a good game.
It's the best series. It's the best series the NBA has going right now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what they do. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to take a cheap shot at Joel Embiid next
game. Got him right back.
Yeah, they're going to do all that crazy stuff. But look, y'all, we want to thank y'all for listening, and we want y'all to have a blessed day and a blessed weekend. Peace.